Well, hello, Robert Heffernan with EndoTech, Blockchain Vitals, back at it. Weekly editions coming for the near future until I can get back to a daily schedule. I'm a master endotechnician, firmly in the matrix, trading these cryptos. And you know what? Let's do the rounds and talk about one thing I saw in the past week that I thought was very interesting. And that was this tweet. No, that was the last tweet. All right, Justin Sun had to postpone. I might as well cover this. Had to postpone his lunch with Warren Buffett. Seems he had a few tidings to take care of with the Chinese government. Anyway, I'm not sure when the lunch has been rescheduled for, but they're holding the lunch menu items in the kitchen at this point. Anyway, the one I wanted to talk about was this one. Pantera Capital, Dan Moorhead, predicts BTC hits 42,000 by the end of 2019. And I love the fact that in the article they talk about you don't have to be technically savvy to come up with this because it's a logarithmic analysis. All right, all I can tell you is I don't care what kind of analysis you are talking about. Bitcoin never goes and trades 42,000 while it's in lower momentum on the daily sheet, right? And while it is fully rolled over on the weekly, and we have the monthly coming up here on a rollover basis at the end of the week, and we will have a monthly momentum level that we need to deal with. What I'm telling you is that 42,000 can't be reached without also abiding by the technicals. All right, so the article says you don't need to do technical analysis because it's logarithmic analysis, but you can't have one without the other. It's the most ridiculous comment I've ever seen in my life, talking about price discovery. Like you can just suddenly just be 42,000 without any price discovery to get it there. And when there is price discovery to get it there, things like momentum levels get taken out, get respected. That's what I'm trying to point out here, all right? You continue to mind the mow and trade from a technical background, and you don't get destroyed, for sure, and you catch the big run. All right, listen, let's take the vitals and talk about it because we got weeklies that have rolled here, and we need to point them out. All right, right now, Bitcoin trading at 95.29 at Bitfinex, 95.29 at Bitfinex. In again, low momentum on the daily, 96.23. And checked out that weekly average at 93.85. So let's just go over the weekly numbers here. Weekly average 93.85, up mo on the weekly, all the way up at 10,823. Room out to 13,697. All right, low momentum on the weekly, 79.48. Low momentum collar on the weekly, 5,074. To refresh your memory, up momentum on the monthly, 86.33. All right, so we are still above there, but because of the slope and the way this monthly chart is set up, and I will continue talking about this. Well, actually, I won't because the month's going to roll here. But it looks to me like that momentum level on the monthly will roll somewhere around the $9,300 area, between $9,200 and $9,300. So as you'll see here, the current price rolling right near where we're trading here. And if Bitcoin gives it much more away this week, let's say it gets below that weekly average at 93.85, then that weekly low momentum level at 79.80 or 48 is the next weekly level to look for, right? And that fully puts us out of up momentum on the monthly also. And if you followed me over the last year, you know that dailies lead into weeklies, weeklies lead into monthlies, and when you get all three in one type of formation, very, very strong setups ensue. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at here in Bitcoin. I'm looking for the end of the week and the roll of the month. Really want to see this thing respect that weekly average at 93.85 and would love to see them climb and get out of low momentum on the daily if you want to play from the long side. And they got a lot of work to do here just to get back into upmo on the daily and then upmo on the weekly. I mean, look at those levels. Upmo on the daily, 10,437. Upmo on the weekly, as I just said, 10,823. So a substantial amount of wood to chop. It's not like they can't do it. They've had several $1,000 moves in very short periods of time. But if there's any chance of 42,000 in 2019, then weekly momentum levels and monthly momentum levels must be held, all right, and built upon in order to get to that type of price point. That's what I'm seeing. Now, the rest of the complex, every other coin in the top 10 or 12 is actually in lower momentum on the weekly. So that has just continued to erode the rest of these coins and the prices that they're trading at on those weekly charts. It's a different story than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has held up better than the rest. So when it was good, it was better. And when things were bad, it was better than the rest of these coins. All right. So Ethereum right now trading 210.24 and lower momentum on the weekly, 214.40, room down to 142.92 for Ethereum. So a completely different chart setup, now fully in low momentum on the weekly and potential down to 142.93. XRP is the most sideways chart I have seen in cryptos. In fact, if it was any other asset that I was be looking at, I'd be like, that is the most brutal chart if you're a momentum player I've ever seen. I mean, it is dead flat. XRP trading 30.94, lower momentum on the weekly, 32.80, room down to 22.34, and again, dead flat. Litecoin trading 90, pretty much even, 90 even Litecoin, lower momentum on the weekly, 91.19, room down to 58.66 to the lower momentum collar on the weekly. EOS trading 418 last, 418 EOS. Lower momentum on the weekly, 466. Room all the way down to 234, lower momentum collar on the weekly. Now, I'm not telling you that they go to those collars on these other coins on the weekly. What I'm telling you, that's the potential in the market. You need to know the potentials. And these things fully, Ether just out of lower momentum on the daily. XRP just out of lower momentum on the daily. Litecoin just out of, well, a little bit more out of lower momentum on the daily. So a little bit better strength short term for some of these other coins. But all in all, just like I said several months ago, it takes weeks and months to roll this thing around. It also takes them it takes a longer period of time on the longer charts for stuff to roll over. That being said, if you look at the monthly, we are still in up momentum on the monthly, 86.33 for July. August, it should be around 9,300. So longer term, if Pantera's Dan Morehead is correct, we really should respect this 9,300 level and build upon it. And then going into next month, we should start moving away from it. All right, because that's the way you get to 42,000. You maintain momentum on this longer term time fractal, this monthly. And if we do that, hey, I'm ready, willing, and able to jump in if we can find momentum on the daily and the weekly and have better price activity around it. That's how we get to 42,000, right? You go into up momentum on the daily. The momentum on the daily leads into up momentum on the weekly. And we've respected the up momentum on the monthly, this 86.33 level this month, 9,300-ish next month, and we explode from there. Then I'm ready, willing, and able to jump in on that storyline. But until that price discovery happens, logarithm, please, I understand there's multiple ways to look at things, but there's also multiple ways to do the analysis on how you get there. And you cannot, in my mind, I will not disregard the way that I build my analysis. All right, just because there's a logarithmic analysis that says one thing, I need them both to be confirmed. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so please be disciplined, trade disciplined, mind the mo, and I will be back next Sunday for another segment of Blockchain Vitals, a weekly segment. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then.